Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Let's continue discussing about the stage. Representatives and imams to be qualified. If a family disputes are referred to the just and the wise, if bodily health is not entrusted to quacks, and if the state does not permit every juggler to be fooled the people, then how can the most vital and complicated affairs of the state be placed in the hands of persons who have no qualifications beyond the influence of birth or riches, and who therewith succeed in elections by hook or crook? Ladies and gentlemen, qualification for representatives and leaders are as essential as for doctors, lawyers, and engineers, and even more. The Quran rejects birth or riches to be qualification. Instead, it makes knowledge and bodily fitness essential for leadership. Brothers and sisters all over the world, when the Rob or Lord tested Abraham with certain things, he fulfilled them. Allah said, I'm making you a leader of the people. He asked, and out of my seed. Allah said, my promise shall not reach the wrongdoers. Al-Quran, Surah 2, verse 124. They said, how can we have authority over us? We have better right than he to authority. He has not been given amplitude of wealth. The Prophet said, Allah has chosen him over you and has increased him broadly in knowledge and body. The commands you deliver, Allah commands you to deliver trust to their owners, and that when you judge between people, judge with justice. The Holy Quran, Surah 4, verse 58. It is therefore essential to lay down for the leaders such qualification as a knowledge of Quran and Sunnah, B. Standard of education, C. Experience of affairs of the state, D. Maturity of age, E. Physical fitness, F. Reputation of good moral, etc. Being the guardian of the state, They should be just men of tested integrity who will work above personal interests. Anybody of low moral standard should not be allowed to hold sensitive duties in the state. One who cannot be relied upon in daily life cannot be trusted for state affairs as well. Brothers and sisters all over the world, representatives should not behave as autocrats, tyrants, but act according to law in coordination with experts. Other checks to save the state from being the monopoly of a few rich and powerful may also be enforced so that all sections of the people are equitably represented. So that all sections of the people are equitably represented. Non-party government. Islam believes in one mankind and within that in one unified Muslim community. It does not accept any divisions of bickering or chaotic condition in the community. Parties aiming to destroy other parties have no place in it. It cannot permit voting with the party when the party acts wrong. Everyone is to vote according to his ability and conscience for the right cause, as he will be personally answerable for his actions on the day of judgment. Islamic State has to have a non-party government where the best people are to be entrusted with responsibilities. However, if there have if there happen to exist purposeful groups causing no rift in the community, all of them are to be taken in the government so that it becomes an all party for the sake of opposition. All elected members share the government as representative of their section of the community. Islam does not believe in the rule of majority. It is the rule of Allah overall. It is the expert who employ the rules from Quran and Sunnah, the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad. Function of the state. The state has many functions to perform. Example, security, waging war against infidels, welfare of the people, provision of justice, etc. But one Quranic injunction needs special mention. If we establish them, believers in the land, they shall establish the salat, pay the zakat, bid the desirable, and forbid the dejected. Al-Quran, Surah 22, verse 41. Salat is meant not only to remember and glorify Allah, whose kingdom they uphold, but it is also an institution which binds people in a compact body under the command of a virtuous leader. It makes them a united fraternity, free of disputes, and it can turn them an armed troop in hour of need. Zakat paid by the rich leave none hungry and destitute. Ordering good and forbidding evil means that a society from its basis cleanses itself and works for everybody's good. This way, a society that is homogeneous, disciplined, just, and free of all tyranny is organized from village and district level upwards. Powers of the state are limited. Basic law having been given by Allah Himself, the state is left with powers limited within the boundaries drawn by the Book of Allah. To keep the state within those limits, it is essential to make the following two pronouncements in the Constitution. A. Quran and Sunnah in the supreme law of the state. Anything enjoined or forbidden by the Quran and Sunnah will have the force of law on the citizen, even if it is not mentioned in the written codes of the state. B. Any law found against the dictates of the Quran and Sunnah will stand abrogated as soon as it is so discovered and proved by a competent court of law. So I'll repeat once more. Any law found against the dictates of the Quran and Sunnah will stand abrogated as soon as it is so discovered and proved by competent court of law. The Constitution will be based on the principles as given in the Quran and the tradition in clear legal words for guidance of legislator and other functionaries of the state so that nobody can deviate from them. Sources of power. The first and the essential source of power is Allah, and therefore the guidance. Nobody is entitled to act against it. Every bill and law will be checked against it. Legislative or legislators, executive, and judges. Brothers and sisters all over the world. In view of the above mentioned principle, responsibility to make or amend law lies only with the elected representatives of the people. Unless the law is against the eternal constitution, the Quran and the Sunnah, the tradition. When it may be declared void by the competent court of law, in doubtful cases, the law may be referred to expert before implementation. To enforce law and to execute policies, executives shall be employed by the chief imam to save people from misuse of authority entrusted to them. Checks and balances may be created within the organization by giving people the right of appeal to the courts and to the body of the representatives. The authority to appoint judges also lies with the imam. Yet, as the judges have to decide against people, against executives, and even against the lawmakers, the system should ensure that judges work without any pressure from outside. They must be expert in law and men of highest integrity above suspicion. Must attend assemblies. Those only are believers who believe in Allah and His Messenger, and who, when they are with Him on a collective matter, go not away until they ask His permission. Those who ask your permission, they alone are the ones who believe in Allah and His Messenger. So, when they ask your permission for some affair of theirs, give leave to whom you will out of them, and ask for them Allah's forgiveness. Allah is forgiving, merciful. Make not the calling of the messengers among you like your calling of one another. Allah known those of you who slip away, concealing themselves. But those who go against messengers' command should beware that trouble may befall them, or a painful punishment may befall them. Taking in secrecy. O believers, when you confer secretly, confer not in sin, enmity, and disobedience to the messenger, but confer in virtue and Allah fearing. Al-Quran, Surah 58, verse 9. O believers, when it is said to you, make room in the assemblies, then make room. Allah will make room for you. And when it is said, rise, then rise. Allah will rise up in ranks those of you who believe and those who have been given knowledge. Act on whole law. Ladies and gentlemen, law is compact, contiguous, and its portions on various aspects of life are interdependent. You cannot achieve any good unless you act on whole of it. By piecemeal actions, you only bring forth confusion and unending problems. In fact, you make a mockery of law and invite disaster. Ladies and gentlemen, do you believe in part of the book and disbelieve in part? But whoever among you does that, his wage is nothing but disgrace in this life, and on the day of resurrection they shall be turned to the most terrible punishment. The Holy Quran, verse 2, the Holy Quran, Surah 2, verse 85. Justice. Aggression can be stopped and peace established only by providing justice to the aggrieved. Where justice is not given, aggression is met by counter-aggression without end. The Quran before the Quran therefore orders, O believers, and stand out firmly for Allah and be just witness, and let not the enmity and hatred of other make you avoid justice. I'll repeat it for confirmation. O believers, stand out firmly for Allah and be just witness, and let not the enmity and hatred of other make you avoid justice. Be just, that is near to piety, and fear Allah. Allah is aware of the same you do. Al-Quran, Surah 5, verse 8. O believers, stand out firmly for justice as witness to Allah, even though it be against yourself or your parents or your kin, be he rich or poor. Allah is a better protector to both than you, so follow not the lust of your heart, lest you may avoid justice. And if you distort your witness or refuse to give it, verily Allah is aware of the same. Protection of religion. Islam gives full protection to the religion. O you who believe, whoever from among you turns back from his religion, Islam, Allah will bring a people whom he will love, and they will love him. Al-Quran, Surah 5, verse 54. And whoever contradicts and opposes the messenger after the right path has been shown clearly to him, and follows other than the believers, we shall keep him in the path he has chosen and burn him in hell. What an evil destination! O Prophet, why do you ban for yourself that which Allah has made lawful for you. Seeking to please your wife, Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. Protection of life. Life of man is sacred and cannot be taken without right. It is safeguarded by the law of retaliation. It is safeguarded by the law of retaliation. It is safeguarded by the law of retaliation. In case of murders, it may, however, be forgiven by the heir of the deceased, a provision to save the second life where possible. Whoever kills a soul, unless it be for murder or for spreading mischief in the land, it is as if he killed mankind altogether. And who saved alive, it is as if he saved mankind altogether, the whole mankind all over the world. Al-Quran, Surah 5, verse 32. O believers, prescribe for you in retaliation regarding the murder, free man for free man, slave for slave, and woman for woman. Then if one is pardoned by his brother, follow the desirable and pay him with gratitude. This is a concession and mercy from your Lord, and who shows enmity after this, for him shall be a painful punishment. Al-Quran, Surah 2, verse 178. To close this session, I will mention Surah Al-Asr. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr illal ladzina amanu wa amilus solihati wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. By time, indeed man is in loss, except those who have believed and do righteous deeds and advise each other to truth and advise each other to patience. That's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention and good cooperation. May God, Allah, always bless you wherever you are. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.